Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of February 5th through the 11th of 2024. Alright, so a lot going on astrologically this week, but we are ending the current lunar month. We have a new moon on Friday in Sidereal Capricorn. So a new beginning around the corner here in regards to our disciplined, responsible, and long-term side of ourselves. Good to incorporate more of this energy as we've already had the sun here. And Mercury will be shifting into Capricorn right off the bat this week on Monday, adding to that more grounding energy and long-term view that Capricorn can give us. Now Mercury will pass over Pluto on Monday as he enters Capricorn, so there could be a deep mind, deep communication, deep view of life, and perhaps some things that could be transforming as all these fast movers start to go over Pluto. And Pluto is entering Capricorn, which is really adding for the next many years, almost 2 decades of transformations to our structures, to the things that we've built in our life, to have this new emergence of new things to come out of that. But anyways, this week specifically, we have a lot of aspects with Uranus. Venus will be trining Uranus on Wednesday. Good to enjoy maybe some of the spontaneity and excitement that Uranus can bring, but the Sun will be squaring Uranus on Thursday, and of course that will be part of the new moon. So good to find the healthy way of Uranus energy, which is healthy freedom, healthy change, healthy listening to that excitement, but in a way that's constructive and with mindfulness. So with that, it can be a very constructive week for all things that do involve some change, some spontaneity, some excitement in our life, but all in all, challenging our own status quo is, I think, a great way of working with this. And then we have a lot of other sort of minor aspects. Mercury squaring Jupiter over the weekend, maybe giving us a bit of an expansive mind. So let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, February 5th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. You won't see mainstream using the visible sky because, unfortunately, they don't use it. As you can see here, we have other constellations like Ophiuchus, which is by definition a Zodiac sign because it actually passes through the ecliptic. But this is ignored in mainstream astrology, as well as the actual sizes of the constellations, which will change the signs, the sign placements. Like you might be expecting the sun to be in Aquarius at the moment, for example. So if you are new, definitely check out the link down below for more information on using the visible sky called True Sidereal Astrology. All right, so let's do a bit of a recap and see where everything is coming into the week. The only sign change we have this week is Mercury, and it's happening right at the beginning of the week. Mercury is going from more expansive Sagittarius into more constructive Capricorn. So the sun's already been here, and of course the new moon will be here on Friday. So it is around the corner, really a new beginning in regards to this more grounding energy of Capricorn. Capricorn, the sea goat, is all about seeing the long-term view and how we can really cultivate a long-term future in our life, whether it's through integrating things like patience, perseverance, discipline, responsibility. These sorts of qualities are really good to develop. So any intentions around this on Friday is great, but really this whole week, especially with now Mercury entering, can be really adding to that mix. But it is mixed with fire because Venus and Mars will still be in Sagittarius this week. And so when it comes to really how we're connecting, when we're dealing with Mars and Mars and Venus, in this case, how we're connecting can be more on the expansive side of things. Sagittarius is the centaur, which is represented of us expanding our mental and literal horizons. So a great time of discussing things like philosophy, the meaning of life, more higher abstract things, possibilities and potentials for the future, and just enjoying a bit of this more open-mindedness and maybe free-spiritedness that Sagittarius can give us. So it still is definitely a week that is mixed between fire and earth. That has been the case already, and this week is no exception to that. So as you can see, there are quite a few aspects here this week. So let's go ahead and break it down, starting first with Monday here. So first of all, the moon will be in Ophiuchus on Monday. And so Monday is going to be a good day for excavating and bringing to the surface anything that could be deeper that comes from within or without. Without might be research, uncovering deep things, and anything that could be maybe physical healing as well can usually be really good. But excavating the deeper world and working with it to some capacity is great. Now what's nice is we do have a lot of support to do this because the sun will be sextiling Chiron and Venus will be squaring Chiron. So Chiron is the healer comet, very similar to Ophiuchus, and so we could notice some healing and some transformations most certainly around Monday. And not only because of these aspects, but perhaps more importantly, Mercury is going to be passing over Pluto on Monday as well. So definitely a deeper mind, deeper view of life, and perhaps some things involving communications or correspondences that we can dive deep with and maybe notice a bit of a transformation with. So a new beginning really with viewing life in the deeper way and working with the deeper dimensions. Again, it could be internal, personal, external depth as well. But any intentions that we can set around being willing to dive deep, being willing to really transform, let go of the outworn to make way for the new, I think is always a great way of working with Pluto, and we could say Ophiuchus as well. But this brings up the point that all these fast movers will be passing over Pluto. We've had the sun already pass Pluto. But at this point in the year, Pluto is now officially getting closer into Capricorn than where he's been for almost multiple decades in Sagittarius. And so now Pluto is shifting into Capricorn until 2041. And this is very significant. I did write an article about this. For those of you in MTZ Insiders have already seen the article. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, I do highly recommend it. There's a link down below to sign up for that. It's absolutely free. But if you haven't seen the article, you can go to masteringthezodiac.com and go to more and go to the latest article, and you'll see it there. If it's not there, it's maybe the next one, depending on when you're watching this video. But yeah, Pluto entering Capricorn, very significant for many years. The last time we had this was in the late 1700s, when we saw a lot of transformations and changes to the world, the government systems and structures that we had. And now we have that similar energy once again. So transformations to those systems and structures collectively, but also personally. And I think it's a great time to see how we can be intentional with changing our lives and seeing the ways we've sort of done things, and maybe have a system around that we can be willing to change and transform for the better. So definitely getting activated this time of the year with the new moon now in Capricorn and the fast movers passing over Pluto into Capricorn as well. But getting back to this week, once we do get to Tuesday, the moon will shift into that more expansive Sagittarius, activating the more free-spirited energies. And this has been the location of the current lunar cycle, the one that we're ending here. So it's good to complete and finalize things in this regard, really this whole week up until Friday. Anything that has dealt with inspirations, possibilities, potentials, things that have expanded our mental horizons or our literal horizons, is great to, again, complete. And so even though it is fire, it's very important to recognize that this is about the ending of the lunar month. And so the energies are at their lowest and coming to their lowest on Friday. So it is really good to allow the lowering of energy, to allow the clearing, to allow the reset, in order to make space for those new beginnings, which will slowly start to emerge from Friday onwards here. Now, that Sagittarius energy, though, good for, again, opening those horizons a little bit. Now, once we do get to Wednesday, we do have some of the Uranus aspects starting. So Venus will be trining Uranus on Wednesday. Uranus is that planet of really listening to our excitement and doing things that are more spontaneous and more in alignment with our true self. You know, that expression of listening to our excitement, acting on our excitement. This can really be symbolic of Uranus. So really good to do that. And so anything involving what we enjoy in life, what we're connecting to in life, who we're connecting to in life, can be really good to bring in some of that spontaneity, some of that change, some of that thinking outside the box that Uranus can help us cultivate. And it's nice to see here that while that's going on, Mars is sextiling Neptune. It's nothing major, but Mars and Neptune could be a nice combination because Mars is our more assertive and direct side, while Neptune is our more receptive and spiritual side. And so to see these two as potentially in harmony can be quite nice. We might just notice we're a little bit more compassionate than usual, maybe a little bit more willing to go with the flow, a little bit more receptive, at least available with this sort of aspect here. And then once we do get into that Thursday time, we are really starting to end the lunar month, and the sun will square Uranus, which is of course part of that new moon. So as I said earlier, it's good to find those healthy ways of working with Uranus energy. Maybe Thursday, Friday, there might be a bit of the impulsiveness, maybe rashness, maybe that wanting to break free. Sometimes with squares to Uranus, we can feel a bit of bottlenecking, maybe a bit restrictive, and then there's that impulse to make those changes or to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. So good to be constructive with that Uranus energy. How can we have constructive change, constructively listen to our excitement, constructively get outside of our own comfort zone, and challenge our own status quo a little bit. And in this way, it can be a great way of working with it. And squares are constructive, and they can be great times of building, integrating, and incorporating that new energy into our lives. But Friday really is the ending of the lunar month, so really good to listen. The moon will shift into Capricorn late Thursday, gearing up for that new moon on Friday. So good to listen, good to see what new emerges from that. And again, any intentions around that long-term, persevering, disciplined view of Capricorn, I think is a great way of working with this whole new lunar month that's starting to emerge here. Then once we get into the weekend, again, just slowly planting seeds in the lower energy of the lunar month, slowly getting things started. The moon will shift into Aquarius. Could be a good weekend for, very similar to Uranus, some of that progressive energy. So thinking about the future, the world, also in a sense our aspirations for the future. And sometimes maybe some collective things can be good, like connecting with friends or doing some networking or working with online or technological stuff can be good as well. But that progressive, innovative, forward-thinking side. Mercury will be squaring Jupiter here over the weekend, particularly on Saturday, which can give us an expansive mind. And so finding the constructive way of working with that, sometimes we can see possibilities, opportunities, maybe get a bit excited about it, optimistic, but then the pendulum can swing the other way, maybe then not so optimistic because the pendulum has swung to such extremes. So it is good to, again, with squares, to find the constructive way of working with it, and in this case, constructive opportunities, constructive inspirations, and anything more abstract in the abstract mind that can be grounded or channeled constructively is fantastic. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Most importantly is we're ending the lunar month this week, gearing up for a whole new lunar cycle coming out of Friday. It is in grounding Capricorn, so it's all about incorporating that long-term view into our lives. We've got early in the week some transformations or some depth that can be worked with constructively on Monday. As we do start to end that lunar cycle, we have these aspects with Uranus that can help us really see how we can have a bit of that excitement and change in our life and work with it constructively, and perhaps noticing some of these constructive changes coming out of this new moon as well. And then as we start this new lunar cycle over the weekend, perhaps some innovativeness with Aquarius and also a bit of expansiveness, expansive mind, expansive views that can be worked with also constructively. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And again, if you haven't signed up for MTZ Insiders, it's a free newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube and extra content not normally released on YouTube, like the Pluto entering Capricorn article, for example. Also podcasts and promotions and other things dealing with true sidereal. So definitely sign up down below if you haven't. But again, have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.